Hello everyone. Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing 1, 2, 3. 只有可那的路，只有可那的路，你有我喜着，不可我自美的是什么？君と夏の終わり将来の夢大きな希望を忘れない当你走进这欢乐城，背上所有的梦与想，各色的脸上，各式的妆，没人记得你的模样。三巡酒过，你在角落，固执地唱着，固执地唱着苦涩的歌，听它在喧嚣里被淹没。拿起酒杯对自己说，一杯敬朝阳，一杯敬月光，守着我的善良，温柔的很重，于是可以不回头的逆风飞翔。Let's go， 不怕心头有雨，眼里有霜。Let's go. Hello everyone, it's me, and today let's watch this classic video together. Let's go.
I'm placing an ad for a housekeeper.
Classic.
Hello?
Hello.
Are your kids well behaved?
You remind me of someone.
You will follow a schedule. Those who do not follow the schedule will be punished.
We gotta dial 911 now!
Hello, Internet. Welcome to Film Theory.
Hello Internet, welcome to Film Theory. Hello.
Removing the nostalgia glasses from your eyes and grinding them under our digital video heel every week. On the chopping block today, the beloved 1993 family comedy, Mrs. Doubtfire, which, if you grew up in the 90s, you'll understand beloved is an understatement. This thing was a staple in everyone's VHS collections, a yearly, if not daily watch for a lot of kids around the country. Like most of Robin Williams' movies, it was an instant classic, simultaneously hilarious and heartwarming in that unique way that only he could do. For those of you who haven't seen the film before, here's the brief overview. Robin Williams, aka Daniel Hillard, is a talented voice actor living with his wife Miranda and 3 kids in San Francisco, California. Early on in the film, Miranda files for divorce after Daniel throws a wild birthday party for their son. Because he doesn't have a regular job or place to live, the family court judge grants primary custody to Miranda, only allowing Daniel to have visitation rights for a few hours every week. Daniel, devastated that he can't see his kids every day, does what any normal parent would do.
Now that's interesting. What is the normal thing that you will do? What will you do then?
Use professional grade prosthetics to disguise himself as an elderly British woman in order to get hired as his children's nanny.
Yep. Bet you didn't see that coming, did you?
As you can imagine, hilarity ensues as Daniel struggles to maintain his double life. But what you were really laughing at weren't the antics of a dedicated, loving father, but really the machinations of a morally bankrupt criminal. Oh, sure, he opposes advertising cigarettes to children.
Pudgy the parrot has a cigarette shoved into his mouth, is morally irresponsible. Millions of kids see this cartoon. It's like sending each one of them a packet of cigarettes and saying, light up.
And gives this heartfelt speech at the end of the film.
In regards to my behavior, I can only plead insanity because ever since my children were born, the moment I looked at them, I was crazy about them.
But I'm here today to expose Daniel not just for his crimes, but also his behavior that, quite honestly, should warrant him seeing a mental health professional. So it's time to crack open those law books and find out whether Daniel Hillard will be exchanging his dress and wig for an orange jumpsuit and, not dropping the soap. Before we begin, we have to determine which...
Dropping the soap. Let's keep this family friendly and wholesome. Thank you so much.
Laws to use when judging Daniel's actions throughout the film. Although it's not officially stated, Mrs. Doubtfire is known to take place in San Francisco, California. Multiple scenes show San Francisco landmarks, and the climactic scene of the film takes place at Bridges Restaurant.
Very nostalgic and classic feeling.
Which is a real-life establishment located in the Bay Area. Therefore, the United States, the state of California, San Francisco County, and the city of San Francisco all have jurisdiction over Daniel. Additionally, the movie was created in 1993, so I'm going to try to only look at laws that were on the books around that time.
Wow, this video is nearly 30 years old. Okay, not this video lah, this video came out in year 2018, but the video that is covering on it.
So now that we know which laws are applicable, let's start going through the film. From the opening moments, Daniel's self-destructive habits are clearly on display. The first scene has him actively sabotaging an important voiceover job.
This session is costing the studio thousands of dollars. If you want to play Gandhi, then do it on somebody else's time. If you leave, you're not coming back in.
Then I've got to do what I've got to do.
And he's not wrong to walk out of this job, but at this point, he chooses to spiral downward even further in his self-destructive habits by throwing a blatantly out-of-control party for his kids. A party that he clearly recognizes is against the wishes of his wife.
Party?
Yes!
No. Yeah, Mom said you couldn't have one because of your report card.
Mom's not gonna be home for another 4 hours.
No, you shouldn't do that. You really shouldn't do that. As a role model, as an adult in a family, people look up to you for responsibilities, someone they can rely on. And if you are doing something so irresponsible, quite hard for you to
party that also happens
justify.
to be highly illegal.
Are you aware that it's illegal to possess animals of a barnyard nature in a residential area? We're also responding to a noise ordinance violation.
How illegal? Well, funny enough, I couldn't find anything about possession of barnyard animals in a residential neighborhood on the books. However, I did find Article 1, Section 37, Clause C of the San Francisco Public Health Code, which prohibits the possession of hooved animals within a residential district. Not exact, but pretty darn close. Both goats and horses, which are seen during the scene, would be a direct violation of this statute, resulting in a punishment of about $100 and approximately 30 days in county jail. Since this would be his first offense, the jail time would probably be waived. And for the noise violation, Daniel would only be fined another $100 as specified by Section 291Y of the San Francisco Police Code.
That's a lot of offense just from the start.
Regardless, let's recap. In the first 7 minutes, the hero of the movie has shown himself to be self-sabotaging in both his job and in his relationship, as well as be liable for at least $200 in criminal fines and possibly 30 days in prison. Sure, the movie frames Daniel as the cool dad who's being henpecked by his stick-in-the-mud workaholic wife, but the subtext here is that we have an unhappy man who rebounds from misfortune by engaging in even more self-destructive behaviors that he knows are wrong.
Don't you dare make me out to be the monster here, Daniel. You have all the fun and I get whatever's left over. Why am I the only one that feels there has to be rules?
And that spiral just continues throughout the movie. This opening scene results in Miranda getting a divorce from Daniel and her winning sole custody over the kids. Because he doesn't have a home or any form of employment, Daniel is only allowed to have visitation rights on Saturdays.
Every Saturday, it's 1 day a week. That's not enough.
Unhappy with the court's ruling, Daniel devises the plan to disguise himself as a British nanny in order to trick Miranda into hiring him so he can spend more time with the kids. All this while Miranda finds herself a new boyfriend, Stu. And this is where the plot of the movie and Daniel's crime spree truly begin.
It trickles down.
See, I know it was a common trope of movies, especially in the 90s, to portray step-parents as evil. But unlike other films, Stu actually makes an effort to bond with these kids and seems very genuine about his relationship with them.
Keep it sincere, genuine, from the bottom of the heart.
One of his buddies even asks why he's dating someone with baggage, and he responds by saying that they're
terrific kids. I'm crazy about them.
So what does Daniel do to this unusually good-natured boyfriend? He takes advantage of his generosity, vandalizes his car, and then nearly murders him. You know, family-friendly comedy stuff. It's okay to kill your romantic rival and kid's possible stepdad. In one scene, Daniel, dressed as Mrs. Doubtfire, takes the ornament off of Stu's Mercedes. Since he, quote, maliciously damages property that he does not own, end quote, it would technically be considered vandalism by the California Penal Code and would result in a $1,000 fine and potentially another year in...
Okay, so there's a Monopoly card of the go-to... Okay.
County jail. California is not messing around, you American vandals. Never seen that show, but Phil DeFranco says it's good. I might have to check it out. In a later scene, Daniel, once again disguised as Doubtfire, is at a bar and hears Stu criticize him as a negligent father.
What can I say, Ron? The guy's a loser.
Daniel responds by throwing a blindsided lime at Stu.
I saw it. Some angry member of the kitchen staff. It was a run by fruiting.
Believe it or not, this too can be considered a crime. A district attorney would likely classify it as battery, defined as, quote, willful and unlawful use of force or violence upon the person of another.
Vandalism? Battery.
End quote. Which adds another $2,000 fine and potentially 6 months of county jail time to Daniel's growing rap sheet. But all of this is small potatoes. Or should I say small...
From 1993 in...
limes when compared to Daniel's most violent crime of the entire film, the near murder of Stu. The movie culminates in a final chaotic scene where Daniel has to keep shifting back and forth between his two identities. Amongst all this mayhem, Daniel takes the time to steal a chef's jacket, sneak into the kitchen, and then add pepper to Stu's shrimp, despite being very well aware that Stu is allergic to pepper.
I'll have the jambalaya. And make mine not spicy. I'm allergic to pepper.
When the food is served, Stu begins to eat it and immediately has himself an allergic reaction. Not a funny sort of reaction, a dangerous one. Daniel recognizes his mistake, exclaiming,
"Oh no, I killed the bastard,"
before successfully giving him the Heimlich maneuver. Now, clearly this is a crime, but what sort of crime is it? Well, if Stu had died like he was on the verge of, it would have been tried as voluntary manslaughter, in which someone is killed unintentionally during a crime of passion, often being provoked while tensions are high. In this case, Daniel sprinkling the pepper was meant to be a harmful prank, but at no point did he intend to kill Stu, as evidenced by him doing the Heimlich to save him. If there had been intent to kill, but still no planning, then this would have been tried as attempted second-degree murder. Regardless, no one dies. So does this mean that Daniel gets himself off scot-free? Absolutely not. For starters, Daniel violated Section 347 of the California Penal Code, which states, quote, every person who willfully mingles any poison or harmful substance with any food, drink, medicine, or pharmaceutical product where the person knows or should have known that the same would be taken by any human being to his or her injury is guilty of a felony punishable by imprisonment in the state prison for 2, 4, or 5 years. Now, clearly Daniel knew that adding a metric ton of pepper to Stu's dish would cause him some level of injury, so with that, we can add another 5 years to Daniel's sentence. Other possible crimes Daniel could be on the hook for here include reckless endangerment, battery, and, on the extreme end, assault with a deadly weapon.
Okay, wow, that escalated quickly.
No, pepper might not seem like a deadly weapon, but since Daniel knew it was harmful to Stu, a lawyer could absolutely make a case for it, which would yield a sentence of up to 4 years in county jail and a fine of $10,000. So, between the party violations, vandalism, battery, and poisoning, Daniel Hillard could be facing around $13,200 in fines, and an upwards of 10 years in prison. As large as that may seem, though, we still haven't touched on his biggest crime.
What? Wait, what? His biggest crime yet?
Oh yeah, almost killing his romantic rival is far from the biggest thing Daniel has to worry about. We've overlooked something major up to this point. So major, in fact, that it could increase Daniel's sentence 4 times over. And the thing that I've overlooked up till now is the point of the entire movie. You see, according to the terms of divorce announced by the judge at the beginning of the movie, Daniel Hillard is only allowed to see his children for a few hours every Saturday. For the rest of the week, Miranda has full custody. Since this divorce agreement is a legal decree, intentional violation of it is considered contempt of court. In order to be convicted of contempt of court in the state of California, the defendant must have knowledge about the order in question and then willfully have violated that order. Now, clearly Daniel had knowledge about the divorce agreement since he was present in the courtroom when it was decided, and the violation of the agreement was absolutely intentional on the part of Daniel. Not like the children happened to see him while he was working at the TV studio. Daniel became a nanny expressly to sneak into his former home and see his children. This is a crystal clear example of contempt of court, which is punishable by a maximum sentence of 1 year in county jail and a $1,000 fine. But that's not all. For some court orders, including family court matters and restraining orders, the California Penal Code mandates that, quote, each contact shall constitute a separate violation. This means that each time Daniel actively saw his kids outside of the court-mandated hours is considered a unique offense. At the end of the film, it's revealed that it's been 2 months since the initial divorce hearing.
Your Honor, in the past 2 months, I've secured a residence. I've refurbished that residence and made it an environment fit for children.
At 5 days a week for 8 weeks, Daniel would be charged with up to 40 cases of contempt of court. This alone would be upwards of 40 years in jail and a $40,000 fine. So if you tack on all the other offenses, which look gracious in comparison now, Daniel could potentially be spending nearly 50 years behind bars and paying over $53,000 in legal fines. Now, obviously, these figures were calculated using the maximum sentencing requirements for each infraction, so there is possibility that Daniel could have been given a shorter sentence by the jury or received parole for good behavior. However, I don't think many jurors and judges are going to be sympathetic to a man who almost murdered someone while dressed up as an elderly British woman so he could sneak into his house and basically kidnap his kids from a legal standpoint.
Alright, once again, please do remember to have good morals, and please be understanding towards other people as well, not just yourself. Be understanding towards other people, be respectful, be polite towards other people. People make mistakes, big or small, that's the things. Mistakes are always forgivable if one of the correct should admit them. Isn't that correct?
But the worst twist of all is that at the beginning of the movie, it's made clear that
I'm giving you 3 months, Mr. Hillard. 3 months in which to get a job, keep it, and create a suitable home. If this proves to be a possibility for you, I will consider a joint custody arrangement when we reconvene.
all he needed to do was wait for 3 months and his problems would have been solved. Instead, he self-sabotages yet again, this time actively throwing away the last remaining shred of happiness in his life, his kids. And because of his actions, the soonest that he'll see them is when they're ready to join AARP. You can't even claim he was ignorant to all of this. Daniel openly recognizes what he's doing halfway through the movie. Immediately after revealing his true identity to his kids, Daniel says,
If she finds out, I'll only be able to see her through plate glass.
maybe the best way to see your kids would have been to stay out of the clink, you Mary Poppins reject.
For 3 months. Moreover, you must understand that in some cases, with good intentions but with bad results, it can be understood as what? Maybe, I'm not too sure, but maybe he have good behaviors. He have good intent. Or maybe she lah, of course. Maybe she, of course. And if the system is too harsh, maybe give it a thought to change it for the better.
Doubtfire isn't the happy, family-friendly, inspiring movie that we grew up watching. It's about one man systematically and knowingly destroying the happiness in his life, one piece at a time. But hey, that's just a theory. A film theory. And cut.
Wow. I didn't expect that this episode will touch on such a sensitive and really heartfelt thought about it, on this video. Yeah, that's very interesting to watch. Yeah, very perfect. Well, anyways, if you do like this video, please remember to like, share, and subscribe to my channel, and comment down below if you have any channel of us. Don't forget to follow my channel, and I sincerely appreciate all of your support and encouragement for my work. Thank you so much. It's very motivating and inspiring for me to continue. Very encouraging. Thank you so much for your positivity, and I hope to see you all in my next video. But hey, that's just theory, a film theory, and cut. And I hope to see you all in my next video. Thank you so much. Subscribe. Thank you. Alright, here we go again. I was watching Silver Gunner's video. Speaking of Silver Gunner, hope you watch it soon. Food series just started in 2020, so if you finish a bunch of film series, it might be done sooner than you think. No, I doubt so. I did the calculations. KV profits, I did the calculations like 20 plus times. Yeah, I did the calculations 20 plus times. Definitely in the month of July, sorry. Definitely in the month of July. Yeah. So if you could, maybe watch earlier than nah. Maybe in the July. But thank you so much, KV Profits, for being so engaging and active in my chat. Thank you so much for being so supportive and positive. Thank you so much. Sincerest and appreciation for your kindness. Thank you. Wow, that video really touched on the sensitive spot in me. Like no, but that video really touched on the sensitive spot on me.
Decided to do it. And I decided to do it.
Oh, sorry.
Decided.
And these are really from 2018. By the time I finish all these video from 2018, right, and I upload them, when I upload them, it will probably be on, after I finish 2019 lah, it will probably be end of July, end of January, and then after that I still got 2020, 2021 from the film Theorists, 2020, 2021, 2020 and 2021 from the food Theorists. 4 years worth. Alright, let's just say the food Theorists, let's say the other 3 years even out the food Theorists 2020. Right, so each folder, let's make it 1 month plus, 1 month plus, one month 1 week lah. So in total, these 4 folders will be 5 months. When I finish 2019, it'll be at late January. Let's just say February, 1st of February plus 5 more months. That means February, March, April, May, June. These 5, and this is a conservative, simple estimation. These 5 months. By the time I finish everything, will probably be around June. Not to mention, during this, from now until June, there'll be new videos coming up from the game Theorists, from the film Theorists, and the food Theorists. I'll be reacting to that as well. So it compound. And note that these all just they're just approximations, estimates, not necessarily the best. That's why. How about these streams are coming out in July, and also start in July too. That's what I should have said. I'm sorry. My deepest apologies. I'm sorry. I don't know what you mean. What I should have said. I'm sorry.
To do an episode on the classic Nicktoon.
You know what? Okay, fun fact. You know that day I was reading Japanese magazine, and I found that my Japanese standards dropped a lot. and I tried reading Korean magazine again. I couldn't read past the first page. My Korean reading skills, speaking skills, conversation skills dropped significantly. Yeah, I need to improve on it. And then my mother tongue, Chinese, Mandarin language, even that dropped significantly to the point which I know, but I have to think doubly hard, 10 times as hard. That time I was like, oh my gosh, I need to buck up on my language skills. That really hurts to see that my own mother tongue is dropping significantly. Then I was reading on the German's magazines, the French magazines, the other different languages. I just found that my language skills drop a lot. I want to practice on Duolingo, at least one language per week. At least have a 5-10 minutes. Okay, at least have 10 minutes interaction with the language. Maybe I speak 10 minutes of the language once per week to at least be familiarized with it. So every single week, pour myself in for, let's just say, 2 hours. 2 hours is, okay, let us say 3-4 hours. Every 10 minutes I change the language. Every 10 minutes I change the language. Once per week, 4 hours. Once per week, 4 hours. Once per week, 4 hours. At least I can keep up with my language skills. So the streams are also gonna be released in July. I'm not too sure. I'm really not too sure because of the YouTube profits. You should also know, right? The YouTube algorithm. Sometimes your video does really well, and from now until July, maybe some of these videos are wonderful works. The YouTube algorithm hits and makes it significantly better, popularized by the YouTube algorithm, and it boosts up one of his recent videos from, by me recent as in future videos from now until July next year, make it into the top 5, top 10 most popular videos. Then maybe I'll watch it. Yeah. Also, that's kind of funny because sometimes something about July is, I mean, on this channel, don't want to spoil. I don't know. I really don't know. Maybe I'll take a look. Yeah. Some of their videos, I recognize that some of the videos are really popular. I go search on most popular, and wow, some of the videos are really, really nice. Yeah. So maybe I'll listen to you and your recommendations. Maybe during or after the month of July next year, when I'm finished with all the film theorists, the food theorists, and game theorists videos, I will take a look at I'll click sort by most popular and just do some reaction videos. Let's go. Oh my god, that's funny. Hello everyone, it's me, and today let's do a do you love cat and dog together? Right, let's go. Oh my god, that's very funny. Hello everyone, it's me, and today once more again. How do you do it? Oh, thank you so much, Cable Profits, thank you. Hello everyone, it's me, and today, do you love cat and dog? Get together. Once more, come on. Hello everyone, it's me, and today, do you love cat and dog together? Like literally together.
When I decided to do an episode on the classic Nicktoon cat dog, one question stood out as the hardest one to answer. Should I be using dog memes or cat memes? Pun dog or hover cat? Dancing dog vine or dancing cat vine? How can you choose? You know what? I am heckin' bamboozled. Play me off, keyboard cat.
So cute, so cute, so cute, so cute.
Hello, Internet. Welcome to Film Theory.
Hello, Internet. Welcome to Film Theory. Hello.
The show that makes videos out of all those weird thoughts that keep you up at night. Like this one. You know how Keyboard Cat is a cat that plays the piano? Well, what would happen if you made a piano that was made out of cats? Sounds ridiculous? Well, don't let humanity hear you talking like that, because wonder no longer, Internet, it already exists. It's called the Katzenclavier. It was imagined, though never actually made, by a German scholar back in 1650. 1650! That's right, loyal theorists, cat pianos predate electricity. I'm glad that scholars were working on the questions that truly mattered back then. But
wow, it is nearly 400 years ago. Come on.
Anyway, we're here to talk today about a big part of my childhood that I'm pretty shocked I haven't actually done an episode on yet. Nicktoons. Gather round the fire, youngins, because old Dad Pat is here to tell you of a time before cell phones and the internet, when the greatest joy of the weekend was waking up on a Saturday morning, eating half your body weight in Cap'n Crunch, with Crunch Berries, thank you very much, and turning on Nickelodeon for a full slate of Nicktoons hosted by a popsicle stick with googly eyes.
Oh my god, these are just classic, you know, super duper classic.
Get your fancy YouTube flash animators, all you Jadens and Rebeccas and Domixes. Domixi. We had ourselves a stick. His name was Stick Stickly, and we loved him. He had a P.O. box that rhymed with his name. Stick Stickly, P.O. Box 963. New York City, New York State, 10108. He taught me that I could pick a rose, pick my nose, and oh yeah, I could also pick Nickelodeon's shows. Yeah, they burned those rhymes into your head as a kid back then. I am indoctrinated! Anyway, I loved the Nicktoons, and I related to all the characters in them. I lived in a dream world and imagined myself as a superhero like Doug, though my superhero didn't wear underwear on his head because, you know, that's a little showy. No one wants to see those tighty whities. I was the stick-in-the-mud only child who never wanted to get into trouble like Chucky from Rugrats, though let's be honest with ourselves here in retrospect. Tommy Pickles was a menace who was a threat to all those other babies, and honestly to his parents. And I was tormented by other kids at school like Arnold and Hey Arnold, though I wasn't teased because my head was shaped like a football. It was just because I was a dork. But one of the Nicktoons that always fascinated me the most, at least on a theorist sort of level, was Cat Dog. The show, if you haven't seen it, is pretty straightforward. You've got yourself an animal with a cat's head on one side and a dog's head on the other side and a long shared body in between, like a big wobbly hot dog.
Yes, and always play around with the fact that how do they actually go to the toilet? Very interesting.
Is a refined intellectual, and Dog is, well, he's a doggo. Hijinks ensue. It's funny, it's weird.
Hey, Cato!
Hey!
Never mind.
And it got me wondering all these years later, is a cat...
It's like, hello, nice to meet you. Oh, wait, am I? Time for me to go. Yes, back to week.
Dog creature possible. Now, maybe I'm crazy for thinking this. I mean, it is a kid's cartoon for crying out loud. But think about it this way. Cat Dog premiered back in 1998. And since then, we've had a few massive scientific breakthroughs. From hybrid cars to the Human Genome Project to discovering water on Mars. I mean, just the other day, I learned from a friend that you can clone your dog for like $20,000. And if that sounds like a lot, remember, you are literally creating a genetic duplicate of a living creature with scientific technology that was only perfected in 1995. I wonder if I can clone Skip. That would be weird YouTuber merch. Hey, Skip. You could have a Skip of your very own. Save that one for the holiday collection. Anyway, as far as I'm concerned, the only thing stopping Cat Dog from becoming a reality is the limitation of our own imagination. So today, we're gonna play a little Dr. Frankenstein to see just what it would take to make a cat dog. It would literally be the perfect pet. You got man's best friend crossed with man's most ambivalent friend. Mix the two together and you get like man's most pleasant next door neighbor. I don't know. Now this
I have to disagree with you. What if they take the both? What if they take the negative trait of both animals? That will be very.
episode is all about the scientific possibility of creating a cat dog, but I realize that starts us off with a pretty big assumption that a cat dog doesn't already exist. Do a quick Google search and you'll find that, yeah, scientists have apparently successfully already bred a cat dog. Well, that was fast. Good show, everybody. See you next week. But
alright, see you next week. Thank you so much for coming over to my live stream. If you do like this video, please remember to like, share, and subscribe to my channel and comment down below if you have any. I'm kidding.
Hey! Of course, then you notice that the scholarly site you're getting this information from is called catster.com. You can't find any record online of the scientists mentioned in their news article, quote unquote, and you realize that the picture of the cat-dog hybrid looks like it was made in Microsoft Paint. Fake news is everywhere these days. But there is something here worth mentioning, which is that rumors of cat dogs go way back long before janky blog sites. A report in the French publication Le Mercure Galant puts the earliest recorded instance of cat-dog hybridization in 1698. There were other well-publicized incidents from the 1930s and 1970s in which people claimed to have crossbred or discovered animals that were part cat and part dog. Now, of course, all of these were eventually shot down as hoaxes made by people looking to make a quick buck. Speaking of people who lie to you to steal your money, it's worth mentioning P.T. Barnum here. Yeah, the circus guy. Oh sure, we all know him as the guy who just had that Mad movie musical made after him, and us hardcore musical theater nerds know him as the guy who also has a meh stage musical made after him. But
oh, the meh version. Wow. Ouch.
It's important to remember that this is a guy who got famous for doing things like sewing a salmon tail to a monkey skeleton to claim that he had found himself a mermaid. Clickbait is everywhere, ladies and gentlemen, all throughout history. Anyway, my point is that the world's been begging for cat dogs for centuries. There's clearly a market for it. P.T. Barnum and the other swindlers weren't able to do it despite what they were claiming otherwise, so it's my turn to step up to the plate and give the people what they want. The Cuppy. It's a cross between kitten puppy. Actually, it sounds more like a cross between kittens and guppies. The Kippy! The most logical way to create a cat dog, it would seem, would be by mating a cat with a dog, thereby creating a hybrid creature that contains traits of both animals.
Okay, so anyways, let's keep this family-friendly and wholesome. Thank you so much.
After all, that's how we get animals like mules, ligers, and wolpins, which are combo whale dolphins. And yeah, all three of those things are real. I mean, it's not like you were questioning that mules were real, but ligers and wolpins, yeah, I'm like, whoa, those are real, and yes, they are. That's one that they don't teach you in kindergarten. V is for vulture. W is for, what the heck is that freak of nature? Just...
I'm sorry. Breathe in, breathe out.
When you thought you knew the animal kingdom, am I right? A big part of the reason these crossbreeds exist is that the animal parents are genetically similar enough to make a viable offspring, which we can demonstrate using a little bit of taxonomy. Now, you may remember that science classifies animals in a variety of different categories, which are kingdom, phylum, class, order, family, genus, species, from least specific to most specific. If you can't remember that, just remember Kanye prefers Coke over flat grape soda, because of course he does. Flat grape soda is gross. So
okay, that's interesting to learn about it.
Consider that to make a mule, you need a donkey and a horse, which belong to the same kingdom, phylum, class, order, family, and genus. Only their species is different, with donkeys belonging to Equus africanus asinus and horses belonging to Equus ferus caballus. In the evolutionary scheme of things, horses and donkeys didn't become different animals until very recently, about 4 to 4.5 million years ago. Cats and dogs.
Wait, what? You just mentioned, yeah, quite recently, only 4 or to 4.5 million.
Dogs, on the other hand, are as different as, well, cats and dogs. They're not nearly as similar biologically, considering they only share kingdom, phylum, class, and order.
True. You must understand that cats, dogs, feline, canine,
then separate into the families Felidae for cats and Canidae for dogs, then further separate out from there. The common ancestors for cats and dogs existed around 70 million years ago, meaning that cat and dog DNA have had that much more time to become different and less compatible. Most hybrid animals breed across species, and very occasionally across genus, and very, very, very rarely across family or even order. So from that very theoretical stance, a cat...
I really like it's like different levels of rare, epic.
Cat-dog hybrid would be feasible, but mathematically it's just not gonna happen and create a viable creature. Further adding to the complications is that cats and dogs have a different number of chromosomes, those little bundles of DNA that mix together when we create offspring. Now, I just use mules as an example, and yeah, donkeys and horses also don't have the same number of chromosomes. Donkeys have 62, and horses have 64, so mules have 63. The extra chromosome there isn't gonna rock the boat too much. Though it should be said that the odd number of chromosomes here means that except in extremely rare cases, mules are gonna end up infertile. But now let's look at our hypothetical cat-dog hybrid. Here we're not talking about a 2-chromosome difference, we're talking about a 40-chromosome difference. Cats have 38 chromosomes and dogs have 78. Here's a scientific fact that also qualifies as a fun fact. King crabs have themselves over 200 chromosomes. Go.
Okay, king crabs. The more you know, I guess. Fun fact for the win. Yeah.
Figure. What exactly would happen to this 58-chromosomed hybrid is purely theoretical, but when you consider that damage to even a single chromosome in human DNA tends to create a lot of health problems, it's unlikely that a cat dog created this way would have any chance of creating a viable creature, let alone surviving being born. Alright, so even though we can't create a cat dog the old-fashioned way, that doesn't necessarily mean we're sunk yet. A number of the show's fans note that Cat Dog's hometown, Nearburg, is a bit of a desolate, barren wasteland with no people and only talking animals, and whatever Winslow here is. They have therefore theorized that it may be a sort of post-apocalyptic radioactive wasteland. If so, maybe Cat Dog is a mutant, and then all we need to do to create our own is find ourselves a leaky nuclear reactor.
With X-Men!
History tells us that, yeah, high levels of radiation tends to mess with plants and animals in the surrounding area. In the aftermath of the Chernobyl meltdown, local wildlife experienced a number of different mutations. Mutations that I'm about to show you, and that, if you don't want to see, now might be a good time to take a 15-second vacation down in the comments.
Alright, so, similarly, 15 seconds vacations, holiday! Alright, blink your eyes.
Say hi to everyone else down there who doesn't want to use eye bleach today. Make yourself a new friend. Everyone scrolled down who wanted to scroll down? Fantastic. So in addition to animals that were smaller, thinner, or misshapen in the wake of this disaster, you also got yourself some really crazy results. In particular, animals that had extra body parts, like this lamb with 8 legs. And to get a little bit more on brand with Cat Dog, this donkey with 2 heads. Genetics and radiation, man, it gets weird. Reminds me of that episode of Bob's Burgers with the goat who has 2 butts. Anyway, alright comment crew, you can come on back up now. So, based on...
Yes, welcome back. Yeah, thank you so much. Do remember to subscribe.
On what some of you just saw, it would seem like we have proof that radiation can create a 2-headed animal like Cat Dog, right? Well, no again. And to understand why, we have to get into the science of how these mutations work. You see, high levels of radiation tend to damage cellular DNA. This isn't necessarily a problem because DNA has mechanisms to repair itself, but those repairs aren't always exactly right. It's like taking a shirt to the dry cleaners to sew a button back on. Most of the time, they sew the button back on perfectly, which would be a metaphor for DNA successfully repairing itself. Sometimes they sew the button on, but it's slightly too high or slightly too low, which would be an imperfect but still functional repair. And then sometimes times, instead of sewing the button back on the shirt, they light the shirt on fire and cover it in thumbtacks. And that's how you end up with an 8-legged spider sheep. At any rate, these mutations can definitely lead to some strange results, but they're not random. You might get the doubling of certain genes that create legs or even heads, but you wouldn't get an organism with a separate head far away from the first head. Besides, all of the mutations that you're gonna see affect a single organism, and to create an animal like cat dog, you're somehow gonna have to splice the cat DNA with the dog DNA, which radiation and subsequent mutations simply can't do on their own. So it's strike 2 for our mad science experiment, which leads us to our third and most desperate option, and it's a dark one, so buckle up. Let's say you're a mad scientist who just can't live in a world without cat dogs, and knowing that you can't interbreed cats and dogs or use radiation to create a mutant cat dog, you decide to take things into your own hands, human centipede style.
No! Okay, now that's... Keep it wholesome, keep it family friendly. Thank you.
By surgically creating a cat dog. If you were somehow able to perform the surgery so well that you could merge the two spines and internal organs such that the surgery itself was a structural success, would this cat dog be able to live? Well, you know how when someone needs an organ transplant, you have to do tests to make sure that the possible donor is a match? This matching system has to do with similarities in the blood and tissues between the donor and the recipient. The more differences there are in those tissues, the more likely the body's immune system is going to recognize that organ as foreign, which leads to the immune system attacking it as though it was bacteria or a virus in order to kill it. And cats and dogs, like I've mentioned, are genetically different, so it makes sense that they would reject each other, but that's not the case. Though it happens only in very rare cases, cats that have received a single blood transfusion from a dog usually live. Interestingly enough, cats that receive multiple transfusions tend to reject the blood the second time, which suggests that after an initial transfusion, the cat's body just recognizes it as different from its own blood. It's a weird little phenomenon. But yeah, on the cat side, it is perfectly viable. Dogs, on the other hand, have a very difficult time receiving organ donations at all, cats or otherwise, because the canine immune system tends to attack any tissues that aren't from direct relatives. A dog's immune system literally acts just like a dog. It's overeager, it barks at everything. It's adorable to think about until you consider that it makes biological treatment of sick dogs really, really hard, and then it becomes really sad. Anyway, for the first time ever, it's not the cat's fault. The cat's immune system would potentially allow it to happen. It's the dog that would make this impossible surgery even more impossible.
Literally from the genetics point of view.
And that leaves us with, no crossbreeding, no nuclear fallout, not even mad science is gonna create a cat dog. At the end of the day, we're just stuck with the glory that is doggos and floofs. So I ask again, what's that leave us with? The cartoon, I guess. Which honestly ain't too shabby, and making it even better is that, lucky for us, Cat Dog and a bunch of other Nicktoons are available for you to watch right now on Verve. Oh yeah! If you have a craving to revisit the simpler times of your childhood, or honestly, if you're too young and missed out on some of the best shows to ever air on television ever, Verve has all sorts of must-see Nick Splat shows. Doug, Real Monsters, Nick Arcade, where you actually go into a video game, and shows that you won't believe that they actually showed to kids back in the 90s, like Rocko's Modern Life. Seriously, if you have never seen Rocko's Modern Life, just watch it and remember, this was meant to be a show for kids. In fact, if you watch it, come back to this video and let me know what you thought about it, because whoo boy, times have changed. What is acceptable for kids to watch has changed. Then, Verve also has incredible nostalgic game shows like Double Dare 2000, Global Guts, where, spoiler alert, the purple team never wins, and what is, to this day, still on my bucket list of life, running through a game of Legends of the Hidden Temple. Debate it down in the comments. Were you a red jaguar, purple parrot, blue barracuda, or silver snake?
Wow, these are all classic.
If you're an orange iguana or green monkey, you need not apply. If you're eager for even more nostalgia, they also have Freakazoid and Thundercats. All of this and more courtesy of Verve, where you can get a 30-day free trial of Verve Premium. You heard that right, free of Verve Premium, which gives you ad-free access to 13 channels, including Crunchyroll, Funimation, and Cartoon Hangover. Because seriously, why would you not want to follow up an Angry Beavers binge with Dragon Ball Super and My Hero Aka all in premium HD. All of it is available on Verve. Get that 30-day free trial of Verve Premium, which includes all those shows and the ability to watch on the go with no internet connection by going to verve.co/MattPat. That's vrv.co/MATPAT. Seriously, guys, get yourself some Nickelodeon. Only now, in the modern age, in the convenience of your pocket, or computer, or TV, or pretty much any other digital device where you want to watch something. Now play me off, keyboard cat, and remember, that's just a theory. A film theory. And cut.
And that's a wrap. Well, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that this video has been very interesting and very unique to watch. Quite educational and knowledgeable, but a bit weird though. Yeah, but hey, if you do like this video, please remember to like, share and subscribe to my channel and comment down below if you have anything to share with us. Thank you so much and hope to see you all in my next video. Don't forget to follow my channel, and yeah, your motivational, inspirational comments are very helpful and positive. Thank you so much for your encouragement and caring. Thank you. And I hope to see you all in my next video. Thank you so much. But hey, that's just a theory. A film theory. And cut. And I hope to see you all in my next video. Thank you so much. Subscribe. There's 2 videos now. Oh my gosh, I need to have better sleep. I slept too late. I really want to sleep. A few more videos ago. Literally forcing myself to 6 more videos. 2 hours.
China, 3rd century.
Oh my gosh, this is gonna be a long video. I'm sorry. Also, you won't get copyright because they assume. Oh, really? It's funny because sometimes. Oh, really? Clapping noises. I'm making out. Thank you. But that's not gonna be normal reaction. Oh, you oh, really? I'm not sure. I gotta kill your stream. I'll watch other videos. I'll be back. Oh, thank you so much. Oh, why too late to? I'm gonna come back as a. Oh, it's right time. Cause I want you to be scrolling. Asking about you to read my comments. Yeah. Yes. Thank you so much. I'm back.
China, 3rd century. China, 3rd century BC.
矛盾。Oh wait, okay, good. Oh yes, thank you so much, KB Profits, for coming over, for coming back. Hi. Next, I'm going to fight with Captain America's shield versus One Punch Man's punch. Let's go. One Punch! Let's go! Hi everyone, it's me, Captain America Shield versus One Punch Man. Bunch? Let's go.
China, 3rd century BC. A story is told of a merchant trying to sell a spear and a shield. When a customer asks how good a spear is, the merchant tells him that his spear can pierce any shield. The customer then asks how good the merchant's shield is, and he responds that it can defend from all spear attacks.
矛枪盾矛枪还有那个盾牌 Yes, correct.
The customer then asks one final question. What would happen if he were to take the merchant's spear and strike the shield? The merchant had no answer. This story originated in the Chinese word for contradiction. Ma Duan, literally translated spear shield.
Wait, what? How did MacPad pronounce it?
For contradiction. Ma Duan, literally translated spear shield.
Well, at least he tried, so encouragement, positivity. He did good.
So, what does happen when an unstoppable force meets an immovable object?
One Punch Man!
Let's find out.
Okay.
Hello, Internet! Welcome to Film Theory.
Hello, Internet! Welcome to Film Theory! One Punch! Hello!
The show where brains always defeat brawn. The show where sometimes maybe brains can in theory be preferable to strength. You know, one of the biggest challenges with entertainment? It constantly has to one-up itself in order to stay new, fresh, and exciting. The first time The Matrix showed the world bullet time, no one had ever seen anything like it. But nowadays, it's all old hat. That first big team-up in the Avengers? Iconic cinema. But then Marvel couldn't just do it again, it already had been done. It had to evolve to stay fresh. So they did more heroes and they had them fight each other. And then again in Infinity War, they one-up themselves yet again by mixing the powers in really cool ways. We can't just watch people in capes kick and punch each other anymore. The standard has been raised for audiences time and time again.
15 more heroes, please.
The reason I bring this up is because escalation is hard. At a certain point, you hit a ceiling, and it's really hard to go backwards. If the fate of the world is on the line for a given movie, well, it's hard to go back to stories where the fate of the city is on the line. And after the fate of the world, where do you go? The fate of the galaxy?
No, solar system. Yes, after that,
then you're just, kind of stuck. Quite honestly, the same holds true for superheroes and their powers. Superman's biggest weakness as a character, it isn't kryptonite, it's that he's too strong. So today I wanted to pit two of superhero
seriously.
Hero fiction's most escalated creations against each other to see which one comes out on top, the immovable object or the unstoppable force. In our first corner at 5'9", weighing 154 pounds, we have the guy whose greatest curse is that he wins every fight with a single punch.
Currently undefeated.
Character whose very existence is meant to parody overpowered anime superheroes, and the guy who shows us just how important it is to never skip leg day. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm of course talking about a Baldy who is far from basic.
That is far from basic, that does 100 push-ups, 100 sit-ups, 100 squats, 10 kilometer runs every single day! Yeah!
One Punch Man, Saitama! How strong is Saitama? Insanely strong. Mechanical beings, mutated warriors, monsters, walls, buildings, swords, meteors. With a single punch, Saitama is able to bring each and every one down. His only weakness is boredom.
And mosquito.
In the second corner, it's our immovable object, the strongest material in all the Marvel Filmiverse. The alien metal behind Captain America's impenetrable shield and Black Panther's suit, able to protect our favorite heroes from being diced, shot, or dismembered, but watch out for those snaps. It's the most indestructible metal that Marvel has the rights to put up on screen.
Vibranium! Not adamantium. Vibranium! But have you thought about vibranium?
Vibranium! KSI and Logan Paul, eat your hearts out.
Vibranium!
This is the biggest fight on YouTube, and I'm not even gonna make you pay $10 for it. So, let's get ready to theorize!
Let's get ready to rumble! Wait, no. It should be. Let's get ready to terrorize!
To figure out who wins the battle between Vibranium's defensive abilities and Saitama's offensive power, we first need to figure out just how strong each one truly is. So let's start with Vibranium. What makes this intergalactic metal so perfect for a match like this isn't how strong or durable it is, but because it has the ability to absorb kinetic energy. For those of you unfamiliar, in physics, kinetic energy is basically movement energy. All moving things have kinetic energy, which means that when Saitama goes to punch it, the Vibranium should be able to absorb most, if not all, of the force of Saitama's punch, storing that impact within the bonds of the material. Calculating the kinetic energy of an object is pretty easy. All it is 1/2 mass times velocity squared. So, is it possible to measure the limits of how much kinetic energy a given amount of Vibranium can handle? Well, we see multiple examples throughout the Marvel filmverse of Vibranium's durability.
Alright, please do remember that this video came out in year 2018. So, when 2019 Avengers Endgame came out, where Thanos' blade destroyed half of Captain America's shield, that part was not put in consideration. Yeah, so please do have an understanding about it. Thank you so much.
In Captain America the Winter Soldier, Captain America uses his Vibranium shield to easily deflect bullets. In Black Panther, we see Vibranium deflect multiple machine gun bullets. It reflects energy blasts from Iron Man and Civil War and can cushion balls. But, without question, the greatest feat of Vibranium strength we see in the movies happens in the Avengers, when Captain America uses his shield to repel Thor's hammer, Mjolnir. Which is some serious power because, as stated in Thor,
Mjolnir forged in the heart of a dying star.
And star matter is massive. According to Neil deGrasse Tyson on Twitter, quote, Neil deGrasse Tyson, I don't know how he sounds. If Thor's hammer is made of neutron star matter, as implied by legend, then it weighs as much as a herd of 300 billion elephants. That's clearly Neil deGrasse Tyson. Nailed it. Now, I can...
Yes, definitely Neil deGrasse Tyson. Knew it.
Already hear the angry internet commenters typing furiously that Odin said Thor's hammer was forged in a dying star, not from a dying star. And yeah, in the comics, Thor's hammer isn't constructed from star matter, but instead out of an enchanted metal called Uru. However, in the Marvel filmverse, it all might just be one and the same. You see, this is how Thor describes the material his hammer is made out of in Thor Ragnarok.
It was made from this special metal from the heart of a dying star.
It was made from this special metal from the heart of a star. And then again, in Avengers Infinity War, we see the construction of Thor's replacement hammer axe, Stormbreaker.
Stormbreaker!
And it seems like the heat of the star is used more to heat this mystery metal rather than fill the mold.
How do we make it? Awaken the heart of a dying star.
We even know what type of star it is.
If it is forged, harnesses the blazing power of a neutron star.
Long story short, at best, Uru and neutron star material in the movies are one and the same. And at worst, the Marvel Universe just can't keep it all straight. Regardless, per National Geographic, a single sugar cube of a neutron star has a mass of 100 million tons. So even if Thor's hammer isn't made of star material, well, it's still gonna give us one massive estimate for how much kinetic energy that hammer generates and how much Vibranium can actually withstand. So the mass of an object is equal to its density times its volume. The density of a neutron star is, on average, approximately 10 to the 17th kilograms per cubic meter. And per the 1-to-1 Marvel licensed replica, the dimensions of Thor's hammer are 8.5 inches in height, 5.5 inches in width, and 5.5 inches in length, which makes the volume of the hammer to be 257.125 cubic inches, or 0.004213523831 cubic meters, which means that the mass of Thor's hammer is equal to 10 to the 17th times 0.004, all that mess, or 421,352,383,100,000 kilograms, or if you're in America, 928,922,995,552,151 pounds.
Wow! Once again, I'm very thankful that MatPat mentioned both kg and pounds, kg and lbs, because right, so that audience, viewers, his fans from all around the world that uses different type of metric systems can understand what it means. So yeah, thank you so much.
Holy Odin, that is a ton of weight. It's actually a lot more than a ton of weight.
Get it? Because Odin is a god, so it's like, oh my god, oh my Odin, something like that.
That is 71,000 times the weight of the Great Pyramid at Giza. 8,000 times the weight of the entire Great Wall of China, which is assumed to be the heaviest man-made structure in the world at 116 billion pounds. But we can't actually confirm that since, you know, can't really pick up the thing and throw it onto a scale.
Fun fact.
So let's say, hypothetically speaking, that Thor can wield his hammer at least as fast as an ace pitcher, 100 miles per hour or 45 meters per second.
But you must understand that you are pitting against a god versus a human. A bit unfair, isn't it?
That would mean that the energy required to deflect Thor's hammer is 426 quadrillion, 619 trillion, 287 billion, 888,750,000 joules. To put that into context, that is more than twice as much energy as the largest nuclear weapon ever tested on planet Earth. Nothing ever devised on planet Earth could ever take vibranium down. But then, what about something that was devised in anime? One Punch Man has done a lot of training for this fight.
100 push-ups, 100 sit-ups, and 100 squats. Then a 10-kilometer run.
And while that training regime might not sound
every single day
like a lot, which is kind of the joke, guys, Saitama seems to possess a seemingly limitless amount of physical strength. Unlike vibranium, the mass of Saitama is a fairly standard 70 kilograms. So when it comes to kinetic energy, it's not his weight that's doing the damage, it's his speed. You see, all those squats and 10K runs over the last 3 years have given him a velocity that is off the charts. When Saitama fights the alien invader Lord Boros, he gets knocked to the moon. This is no big deal because Saitama easily jumps from the moon right back to Earth in less than 19 seconds. The distance from the Earth to the moon is on average 238,606 miles or 384,000 kilometers, which means to travel from the moon to the Earth in 19 seconds or less, Saitama's average velocity per second would have had to have been 20,210,500 meters per second or 12,558,222 miles per second. That is 67 times the speed of light, which means that when it comes to kinetic energy, Saitama is exerting at least 1/2 times 70 kilograms times 20,210,500 squared, 142 quadrillion, 962 trillion, 508 billion, 587,500,000 joules of kinetic energy, or about a third of what vibranium withstood when hit with Thor's hammer. So at the outset, it would seem that vibranium actually trumps One Punch Man. It's about 3 times stronger than the fastest we see him go in the anime. But it's important to remember that Saitama is lazy. He almost never uses his full strength in battle. And even though the moon jump is the fastest that we see him move, it's not his greatest feat of strength. For that, we need to examine when he punches through a planet-killing meteor on its way to Earth. In episode 7, we see Saitama stop a meteor that's described as a level 9 on the Torino scale. Now, that might seem like it's something that's just made up for the anime, but it's not.
What? You're trying to say that Torino scale is an actual thing? Interesting.
The Torino scale is a real method of categorizing the impact hazard of space objects, based on 1, their probability of hitting Earth, and 2, the kinetic energy and diameter of the asteroid. And it gives me great happiness to report that currently there are no space objects rated non-zero on the Torino scale. It would appear that Earth is safe. For now. But a level 9 meteor is serious business. To give you some context, a level 10 is like the impact that killed off the dinosaurs and sent Earth into an ice age. Level 9 impacts, which do severe regional damage, happen once every 10,000 to 100,000 years. And knowing it's a level 9 tells us that the diameter of this asteroid is between 100 meters and 1 kilometer. So to approximate the mass of this anime's killer asteroid, I compared it to 101955 Bennu, an actual planet-killing asteroid floating around in space right now that fits right into the size range. As such, we can say that One Punch Man's asteroid has a rough mass of 78 billion kilograms, or 171,960,564,504 pounds, the weight of 10,000 Eiffel Towers. Meteors tend to enter Earth's atmosphere at speeds between 20 and 72 kilometers a second, so if Saitama's asteroid is traveling at the max speed of 72 kilometers a second, this would mean that the kinetic energy needed to at the very least stop this asteroid is minimum. 202 quintillion 176 quadrillion joules. That is 473 times what we calculated for vibranium, which means that in the battle between Saitama and vibranium, One Punch Man surges ahead. Something that he would be, well, he wouldn't really care about all that much.
It's like, oh, okay, Soka, I won. Okay.
Remember, all of this is Saitama without even breaking a sweat. Vibranium, on the other hand, has shown some cracks in its literal armor. In Avengers Age of Ultron, Thor wasn't the only one having strange visions. It's easy to forget Tony Stark's hallucination where he saw Captain America's shield broken and all the Avengers dead amongst the rubble. And while yeah, that was just a mind trick brought about by the Scarlet Witch,
but you must understand, this really did happen in the future Endgame.
it could be a sign of things to come in Avengers 4. I mean, in the comics, a number of people, both good and bad, have shown themselves able to destroy Captain America's shield, including the man that's currently on everyone's mind, Thanos. In the comics, Infinity War is based on, after that infamous snap, Earth's surviving heroes launch a final desperate attack against Mad Dad Thanos, still equipped with all 6 Infinity Stones. It doesn't go that well for him. In fact, pretty much everyone dies. In a last-ditch effort, Captain America, the last man standing, battles Thanos head-on, but with one swift punch, Thanos shatters Cap's shield. And that is how we're able to test the upper limits of vibranium. Now, you might be asking how we could possibly calculate the energy output of all 6 Infinity Stones, but the thing is, we don't have to. At the beginning of this battle in the comics, in an effort to impress Mistress Death, Thanos turns off all the other powers except for the Power Stone, even though throughout the battle he's still doing reality-bending tricks, but whatever. So we know that Thanos' punch, infused with the Power Stone, is one of the few forces able to break through the limits of vibranium. That still leaves us with the challenge of solving its potential energy, but Infinity War gives us exactly the information that we need. During the climactic battle against Thanos on Titan, we see him use the Power Stone to destroy one of the planet's moons and then rain the shards back down onto Titan's surface. Fragmenting a moon like that is certainly powerful, but notice that it doesn't blow up the moon in one go, but rather it has to dismantle it in one continuous wave across the planet.
And make it into multiple different smaller pieces of the moon, which...
All of that tells us is that the energy required to blow up a moon is ultimately greater than what the gauntlet can deliver in one punch, because it has to dismantle the moon in parts rather than all at one time. From there, believe it or not, it's actually relatively simple to calculate the energy needed to blow apart a planet or moon. Basically, all you need to do is have enough energy to overcome the gravitational binding energy that's pulling all that matter into the shape of the moon. I could probably go more in depth into that in a future episode. Anyway, the gravitational binding energy of a uniform sphere is equal to 3gm squared over 5r, where g is the gravitational constant, m is the mass of the sphere, and r is its radius. So I'm just gonna use our moon as a stand-in for the one that Thanos destroys here. You get about 2.07 times 10 to the 29th joules of energy. That is 1 billion times what Saitama had to deliver in order to destroy that asteroid. And that's honestly where the battle sits right now. Do I think One Punch Man should win this matchup? Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
the fact that we haven't seen Saitama break a sweat doing any of these extreme feats tells me that he could punch a moon and very easily destroy it in one punch. However, based purely on the feats of strength that we've seen in both franchises, vibranium has shown itself able to handle kinetic energy input far beyond what we've seen Saitama deliver. So, is that it? Vibranium wins, at least until One Punch Man Season 2 sometime in 2019? Well, not quite. I have one last twist. Based on the first law of thermodynamics, energy cannot be created or destroyed. It has to be released somehow. Vibranium, like we discussed, typically stores and releases the energy in a controlled way. It's one of Black Panther's most useful skills. However, as we saw when Mjolnir hit Captain America's shield, vibranium can indeed withstand all that energy, but it can't quite absorb all that energy, resulting in a shock wave that flattened the forest 100 feet in either direction. So imagine what happens if Saitama punches the vibranium shield with the same force he used on that meteor, or a force equal to Thanos destroying the moon. The vibranium would be unable to store all of that energy.
Wait, if you're saying that right, the surface of the entire Earth will be destroyed. Wow.
Releasing an even greater shockwave. On the low end, Saitama's punch is almost 474 times more powerful than Mjolnir's hit. The damage would be unspeakable. unspeakable. Everything and anyone within 9 miles of that impact would be totally decimated. Thus, in a battle between Saitama and Vibranium, the ultimate loser would be us. But hey, that's just a theory. A film theory. And hey, if you enjoyed this episode and haven't seen One Punch Man, well, check it out. It's available on Netflix and Verve right now. And while you're checking out stuff on the internet, check out my friends over on Wisecrack. They helped us by collaborating on the research for this episode, and they're just awesome guys. They have their main channel, Wisecrack, which if you've watched this channel for a while, you've heard me mention before, but they also have a dedicated new channel to film analysis called Earthling Cinema. I watch a lot of film analysis videos, and these are always way more fun than your average directorial review or hoity-toity film school breakdowns. Those have their place, certainly, and I totally binge-watch those, but Earthling Cinema analyzes movies from the perspective of an alien who shows up after humans have gone extinct. No joke, it's a very outsider's perspective on what makes movies great, and they just posted a new episode about Spider-Man Homecoming, which was pretty awesome as a movie. The episode talks about everything from how Spider-Man Homecoming relates to the tropes of classic 80s movies, all the way to its parallels with Birdman, all through the perspective of an alien with incredible eyebrows. You should definitely give this new channel a shot by clicking the box on the right or the link in the description, and leaving a comment letting them know that the Theorists were here. Something that'll stand out, something that reflects the fact that, you know what, I'm just gosh darn hungry as I write this episode. Turkey. Go to their channel and comment turkey. Why are they commenting turkey? And we'll all know the secret, and we'll just laugh to ourselves at our little insider joke. So that's it. One punch the link you see on screen and comment on the video, turkey. It'll be our confusing little secret. Now, if you'll excuse me, I need to go make myself a sandwich and catch up on another anime that's currently running. What could it be?
Well, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that you find this video very interesting and very awesome. So which do you think will win? The anime Saitama or the MCU Vibranium Shield? Fun fact, the Vibranium Shield was broken, so yeah. Anyways, if you do like this video, please remember to like, share and subscribe to my channel and comment down below if you have any share of us. Don't forget to follow my channel and sincerely appreciate all of your support and encouragement for our work. Thank you so much, and I hope to see you all in my next video. Your motivational and inspirational comments are really awesome. Thank you so much. But hey, that's just a theory, a film theory, and cut. And I hope to see you all in my next video. Thank you so much. Bye bye. Subscribe. I'm so tired. I'm really so tired. Minutes, 12 minutes, 11 minutes, can I'll drink some water first. 11 minutes, 15 minutes, 12 minutes.
Spoiler warning for it.
Why are all these episodes so long?
Spoiler warning for Attack on Titan.
Spoilers warning for Attack on Titans.
Spoiler warning for attack.
Bingo.
Spoiler.
Alright, sorry. I'm gonna keep your stream up. Oh my god, keep your profits, you're so kind. Alright, oh, I was late. I was on the right time. Good. I'll do the same thing, I'll be back. I'll be back! I need to go, I'll be back. Sure. I need to rest up first. I want to drink water, it's just so... Welcome back, Kiwi Prophets. How are you doing? Welcome back. Shingeki no Kyojin. 사사게요 사사게요 신조 사사게요. There's one song in which I like, Reluctant Hero. Song for the reluctant heroes. Oh, give me your strength. Our life is so short. Short song for the reluctant heroes. I want to be free. I want to be. Sorry. Song for the reluctant heroes. Oh, give me your strength. Our life is so short. And take our titles. Song for the reluctant heroes. I want to be free. Sorry, I forgot. You know, I might need to stop going to the stream entirely. Oh no! What happened? Oh no, I'm sorry. Is it you need to go to sleep right soon? Because it's gonna be 11 PM. Yeah, the stream entirely. Oh gosh. Well, Game Profits, maybe not this stream then. Maybe next week. Okay, maybe tomorrow. I'll be live tomorrow, doing my live stream again. Yeah. But I'll keep striving for you. Oh gosh, oh my god, those kind words. Wow. Really? Wow. Such nice words. Oh gosh. You are. I don't know what to say. Thank you so much. Thank you. Really, thank you. Thank you so much. Oh wow. This kind of encouragement that really. Wow. Thank you. Really, thank you so much. I don't know what to say. Just thank you so much. Alright, let's do it. I was originally very tired, but let's do it. Hello everyone, it's me, Anime! Attack on Titan, Shingeki no Kyojin! Let's go! One more time. Hi everyone, it's me, Anime! Anime. Hi everyone, it's me, Anime! Attack on Titan, Shingeki no Kyojin! Let's go!
Spoiler warning for Attack on Titan.
Yeah. The series has already ended already in 2021, but it's an awesome series. Do remember check it out. I'm lost. Oh! Sucker kick!
Aaron, try a Snickers! You're not you when you're hungry. Grab a Snickers. Hello, Internet! Welcome to Film Theory!
Hello, Internet! Welcome to Film Theory! You're not you when you're hungry. Grab a Snickers. Hello!
The only show to recognize that the best way to stop a skyscraper-tall titan isn't building a stronger wall, it's lining the outside of the city with Legos. Look at those bare feet! Lego's gonna be more effective than a spike pit. Anyway, as you can tell today,
you know that they can harden, right? They can harden part of their bodies.
I'm taking another look at everyone's favorite action horror anime, Attack on Titan. Now, if you're unfamiliar, check out the last video that we did about it. Or, quite frankly, just watch the series. If you're new to anime and overwhelmed by which shows you should be aware of, this is definitely one of them. It's one of those franchises that'll just remain a must-watch anime for years to come. Kinda like Death Note and Full Metal Alchemist.
I agree with you. It's one of the must-watch videos, animes that you must watch for the next 5 years, for the next 10 years. Yes.
Anyway, to give you the 3-sentence rundown, for 100 years, all of humanity has been living in fear, locked in cities protected by towering stone walls designed to keep out the man-eating giants known as Titans. One boy, named Eren Yeager, becomes a soldier, and years later discovers that he has the ability to turn into a Titan at will. With Eren's new power, humanity finally has a fighting chance against their ancient enemy, but reclaiming the world will still be an uphill battle. Especially when you consider that Eren tends to get kidnapped more often than Princess Peach. Now, it'll come as no surprise that the biggest reason I love watching Attack is that it's packed to bursting with unsolved mysteries. Mysteries like what the heck was in Eren's basement? Why the heck would the Colossal Titan knock down the wall in the first place? And how long will this newly introduced character last before, oh wait, never mind, they just died? But there's been one question that's been hanging over the series since the very beginning. One that is the single biggest driving mystery of the entire plot. What exactly are the Titans?
Okay, this was explained later in the series, but this video came out in the year 2018, so it's not that updated. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. Please forgive. Yeah.
Where did they come from? Now I see
seek your forgiveness.
You're running down to the comments to shout, Titans are people! And yeah, I am very well aware that at the core of every Titan there's a human nervous system piloting it. It's like some kind of horrifying zombie flesh mech. But that doesn't tell us what they're made out of, what their origin is. Because while the human body can do some amazing things, one thing I'm pretty sure it can't do is suddenly grow to 20 times its size. At least, not on its own. The laws of physics are pretty clear about that one. You can't just create matter from nothing. So when Eren and the other humans transform into Titans, all of that Insta-Titan has to come from somewhere. Something has got to be making that happen, and by analyzing the physical characteristics of the Titans, we can figure out exactly what it is.
So you are trying to science out something like this? Didn't you did it already for Ant-Man's in the MCU Marvel's Avengers?
Solving the show's single biggest mystery before it's ever revealed. Now, the most obviously unusual trait for the Titan is, of course, their freaky faces. But right after that, the thing that stands out most about them is their size. Excluding abnormal Titans like the Colossal Titan and the Beast Titan from Season 2, Titans range in height from 4 meters to a whopping 15 meters tall, or about 13 to 50 feet. That is pretty darn enormous.
How big did you get? 21 feet 65.
Stop bragging about yourself, Ant-Man. We heard you the first time.
And then it's like, we're comparing sizes. Let's keep it wholesome, let's keep it family friendly, you know.
Or at least those of you who watched my recent theory about Ant-Man and the Wasp heard it. And if you did, you'll remember that, due to the square cube law, increasing a human body's size by that scale dramatically changes the ratio between its weight and effective strength, making it much harder for the body to move and support itself. That's why, at 60 feet tall, Scott Lang's movements have to be so much slower and more careful. His body is supporting much more weight than it's designed to. And since Titans have bone structures that are very similar to humans, you would expect them to be a lot slower than the humans fighting them. But that's not actually the case. In the anime, we frequently see Titans running towards their human prey and picking them up with the precision and agility of a regular-sized human. Even at a full 15 meters tall, Eren's Titan form is capable of breaking into a sprint and using hand-to-hand combat techniques made for a human a tenth of his size. The reason for this is explained in episode 15 by Hanji Zoa, the show's resident Titan expert, and apparently Digidestined, if those goggles are any indication.
Yeah, the Titan expert!
The severed head of a 3-meter Titan out of spite. It weighed next to nothing. Contrary to the appearance of density and great mass, the severed limbs were light as tree bark.
Despite gaining a lot of volume when they transform, Titans don't gain an equivalent amount of mass. They're lighter than they should be, which both explains how they can move so quickly and points towards an interesting conclusion. When Titans transform, some matter is being added to their bodies, but what's there is also expanding, like a balloon or a loaf of bread rising in the oven. That's the only way they could be increasing in size without also increasing proportionally in weight. And as strange as it sounds, the bread comparison might not be that far off. The thing that causes bread to rise is yeast, a single-celled fungus that, to put it very simply, eats sugar.
Eating sugar?
No, Papa.
Telling lies.
And then poops out alcohol and carbon dioxide through a process called fermentation. This trait makes yeast invaluable in the production of beer and wine and has made it a vital component in baking for thousands of years. The gases created by yeast create pockets of air inside of bread dough that causes it to rise and gives the final baked good a light, fluffy texture. Or at least that's what I've learned from binging 5 seasons worth of the Great British Baking Show. And yeast is also what's caused the Titan epidemic in the anime. You heard that right. The true villain in Attack on Titan is a bread leavening agent.
Oh, it's the yeast. Huh? Seriously? Seriously?
Bread is Titans! And Titans are people, so, oh god, we need to stop Sasha before she kills again! If you think that theory sounds like a stretch, well good, because that's how you activate yeast. But seriously, the yeast theory accounts for some oddly specific quirks of the physiology of Titans.
And it's really sad that Sasha, during the war, it hurts.
Firstly, Titans are hot. And no, I'm not talking about the female Titan's exposed muscle look that leaves almost nothing to the imagination. Get your minds out of the gutter.
Okay, let's keep this family friendly and wholesome. Thank you so much.
Mean that the Titan bodies give off an insane amount of heat.
Please be innocent, genuine, and pure. Thank you.
And the bigger they are, the hotter they tend to be. While regular Titans are hot to the touch, the colossal Titan can cook anyone trying to attack him with a burst of hot steam. And the massive Titan that Rod just transformed into in the anime is so hot that trees burst into flame just from being near him. Now look at yeast. As yeast ferments, it gives off heat. It's an exothermic reaction.
Exothermic reaction.
If the fermentation process speeds up or more alcohol is being produced, that temperature rises. Bigger sizes, faster growth, more heat. With bigger Titans, the fermentation would be happening at such great volumes and speeds that the resulting heat would cook the air around them. We can see clear evidence of this whenever a Titan is wounded or dies. As their skin breaks down and decomposes, massive amounts of gas are released all at once, sometimes with enough force to blow away the soldiers trying to fight them. This gas would be the CO2 that's being produced by the yeast and that's keeping the Titan bodies inflated. And then there's the way that Titans take in energy. Despite having a hankering for human flesh that rivals my own cravings for Diet Coke, Titans don't actually need to eat humans for sustenance. I mean, consider this. They were able to keep moving around outside the walls for 100 years, with only a few unlucky Survey Corps members to snack on.
They snack on them and then they vomit them out. They do not have the digestive system.
Nope, their fuel isn't humans. The only thing that Titans actually need to keep their insanely huge bodies moving is sunlight. In episode 15, Hanji proves this by covering her 2 captive Titans, Sunny and Bean, with tarps, causing them to stop moving entirely in just a matter of hours. And the Titans discovered inside the walls after Aaron and Annie's wrestling match at the end of season 1 are also shown to be completely immobile due to a lack of sunlight. You know what else draws energy from sunlight? Yeast. When exposed to ultraviolet radiation from the sun or other sources, yeast becomes more active, growing, reproducing, and fermenting at a faster rate than normal. If that fermentation is truly the source of the Titan's energy, that would explain why cutting them off of sunlight causes them to slow down and eventually stop moving. So ladies and gentlemen, what we have here is a classic case of yeast infection. Okay, so maybe not your classic yeast infection.
Yeast infections, but not your classic yeast infection. Sorry.
And we're obviously not just talking about normal yeast. I mean, Fat Pat here eats a lot of bread, and not once has it inspired a global crisis. Just a waistline crisis. Which merits the question, is yeast just an inspiration for Titan behavior, or is it truly the cause of what we're seeing in the anime? Is there any sort of evidence that the Attack on Titan universe would have some sort of special yeast that could produce these sorts of effects? Yes. Yes, there is. It's subtle, certainly subtle enough that most viewers would probably overlook it, but it is absolutely there. In the publicly available information bonus sections from the manga, which are then repurposed as commercial break eye catches for the anime, there's an entire page dedicated to a unique type of yeast produced behind Walsina. Reading both the anime and manga descriptions of it, we learn that this special yeast doesn't come as a powder. It looks like a lump of fermented soybeans the size of a human head. What's more, storing it with wheat, soybeans, or cured meat slows down the decomposition process, transforming the food by some means not yet explained by science. This preservation ability provided through the yeast allows for supplies to be stockpiled for future use by forces fighting to take back the walls. And while that might not seem suspicious at first, every other one of these pages is either directly relevant to the current storyline or provides vital world-building details, covering topics like characters, battle gear, details about the walls, the history of Titan attacks, etc. And only 14 of these sorts of pages are included in the original manga. These aren't throwaway details. Each and every one of these pages is something that the manga's writers felt that you needed to know. So it's strange at the very least to think that we need to know this weird little detail about fantasy world food preservation, unless it isn't really about the food preservation at all. You know, there's one other place in the Attack on Titan universe where we see that kind of unnatural preservation ability, in the bodies of the Titans themselves. When we find out Amir's backstory in episode 35, we see her turned into a Titan as punishment for leading a cult and being forced to spend decades out in the wilderness. Eventually, she gets completely buried in the dirt before Bertolt, Annie, and Reiner stumble up on top of her. But when she transforms back into a human, she somehow hasn't aged a day. Something within her Titan body preserved her perfectly for all of those years. In general, there's something preventing the bodies and minds of the human hosts from aging or decaying for years inside their transformed states. And the only thing we know with that property, which also conveniently would explain the Titans' lightweight, gassiness, and their solar-powered physiology, is Walsina's miraculous, giant-sized yeast.
So you are actually telling me that yeast is... Wow.
So the next time you're baking bread, just make sure you eat it before it eats you. But hey, that's just a theory.
All I wanted was to break your walls.
A film theory. And cut.
That's quite funny and quite adorable. Educational, but a bit weird if you think about it. I did learn a lot about yeast in these episodes. It's quite enjoyable to watch as well. I hope that you find this video very interesting and you need to watch. And if you do like this video, please remember to like, share, and subscribe to my channel and comment down below if you have any questions. Don't forget to follow my channel. Thank you so much. Once again, it is like, share, and subscribe to my channel and comment down below if you have any questions. Don't forget to follow my channel. I sincerely appreciate all of support and encouragement for my work. Thank you so much. I hope to see you all in my next video. But hey, that's just a theory, a film theory, and cut. Thank you so much, and I hope to see you all in my next video. Bye bye! Subscribe. Thank you. That was one short video. Now I still got a 15-minute video to watch. 15 minutes video.
I wonder where Superman... I wonder where Super...
Alright. Oh, outtakes. You know, I might stop this and I'll try it for you. Oh, thanks so much. Outtakes. I have the Film Theorists channel up and I linked the videos up and I said that. Wow, I really need to sleep. Yes, you really need to sleep. Right now it's like 11 plus PM for you already. Cave Profits. Thank you so much. Please remember to sleep. And I'll keep striving for you. I love interacting with your stream. Oh my gosh, you're so kind. My gosh, you're so kind, man. Oh, all these positive words. So nice of you to say that. Let's go. It's super tired. Just super tired. Two more videos. And then go and end stream. Hello everyone, it's me, and today, Superman! Let's find the wrongdoings. Hey! Hello everyone, it's me, and today, let's find the wrongdoings of Superman. Let's go!
You know, I wonder where Superman changes nowadays. There haven't been proper phone booths on random street corners for years, and it's not like he's gonna fit in a cell phone. Are there just some carefully removed scenes from each Superman movie now where he's just letting little Kal-El fly? Hello Internet, welcome to Film Theory.
Hello Internet, welcome to Film Theory. Hello. Oh my god, I just noticed the little Kal fly. That was a dirty, nasty, naughty joke. My bad. Come on, keep this family friendly and wholesome. Thank you so much with the purity and genuine innocence.
Where we strive to be the internet's most ethical fictional conspiracy theory show. So there's a lot of Spider-Man stuff happening right now. There's the new Spider-Man PS4 game, Enter the Spider-Verse, later this year, and as such I've been rewatching the old Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies to search for theory fodder.
And also there's upcoming Spider-Man 3. You know, Spider-Man 3, No Way Home.
You know what caught my attention looking through all that? J. Jonah Jameson, one of the single best characters in all of comic fiction. Not only is he hilarious in those movies,
Spider-Man wasn't attacking the city, he was trying to save it. That's slander.
It is not. I resent that. Slander is spoken. In print, it's libel.
What really struck me this time was his commitment to his journalistic integrity.
But why you have to be so rude? Why is your respect to other people? Why can't you be polite to other people?
Green Goblin flies through the window and practically sets all of JJ's
Where are your proper, decent manners?
Offices on fire, clutching him by the throat and demanding that he tell him who takes Spidey's pictures for the Bugle. Peter Parker is literally right there outside his office, the two of them just having gotten into a fight. And what does J. Jonah do?
Who's the photographer who takes the pictures of Spider-Man?
I don't know who he is. His stuff comes in the mail.
You're lying!
He lies to Green Goblin's face. For as harsh as he can be, he protects the anonymity of his sources and his employees with his own life. It's truly the mark of a heroic journalist. All of this got me thinking about other superhero reporters, specifically the most famous one of them all, Superman. When Superman puts on those magic glasses, he becomes mild-mannered Clark Kent, star reporter for the Daily Planet. Well, maybe star reporter is overselling his role a bit.
I logged into your Dropbox to find copy. There's copy, all right. Nothing about football. Nothing about, friends of the Metropolis Library.
Throughout Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice, we start seeing the inner workings of the Daily Planet, and, well, the way they treat the news is a bit concerning.
When the planet was founded, it stood for something, Perry. And so could you if it was 1938, but it's not 1938. Nobody cares about Clark Kent taking on the Batman.
Well, they did care about it until they saw this movie. Ha ha! Self-awareness for the win.
Oh, wow! That rose. I didn't see that burn. Ouch.
Seriously, with behavior like that, would the Daily Planet be considered a good ethical newspaper? Or is it just a whole lot more fake news? I mean, Perry White is no J. Jonah Jameson, and usually that's seen in a good way, but is it really? So today I'm taking a deep dive into the icy pool of superhero journalism in an effort to determine whether Superman, the icon of truth, justice, and the American way, is working for a company that's just as sleazy as the criminals he's working to put behind bars. Now, obviously I can't go accusing one of the most iconic fictional papers of being unethical without...
So we are talking about fictional journalism, about fictional superhero journalism. Okay.
setting up a few rules first. So I turned to the experts. The Society of Professional Journalists, in their mission to protect and improve journalism, has created some very clear guidelines for journalistic ethics. The rules fall into one of four main categories: seek the truth and report it, minimize harm, act independently, and be accountable and transparent. Now, the first one almost seems obvious. As a newspaper, the Planet should be interested in seeking out the truth and reporting it. You know, delivering the news in an objective fashion. But when you actually look at how it operates, they really fail in some spectacular ways.
That means delivering the news objectively without having biasness involved. Do not mislead. But having said that, news tend to...
As part of this category, the Society of Professional Journalists list 1. Being vigilant and courageous about holding those with power accountable, giving a voice to the voiceless. 2. Boldly telling the story of the diversity and magnitude of the human experience. Seek sources whose voices we seldom hear. And 3. Avoiding stereotypes. Journalists should be examining the ways their values and experiences may shape their reporting. All of which are great goals, representing everyone fairly and equally, giving a spotlight to the stories that have no other outlet. So let's see how Perry White and the Daily Planet feel about all that. In the 1978 Superman...
1978, man, that is super old.
The iconic and widely considered best film version of Superman, Lois Lane comes in with a pitch for her story.
It's got everything. It's got sex, it's got violence, it's got the ethnic angle.
The ethnic angle. Oh boy. Okay, let's give Lois the benefit of the doubt and assume that she's trying to, I don't know, give voice to the voiceless.
Okay, a bit weird, but maybe it works.
So how does her editor-in-chief Perry White respond?
Yeah, so is a lady wrestler with a foreign accent.
Oof, a lady wrestler with a foreign accent? Looks like Perry missed the day where they taught point number 3 about avoiding stereotypes. It truly does sound like Perry is sacrificing his ethical integrity because the story is merely about minorities. Any way you slice it, it is clearly not a response that gives us any sort of confidence that he's examining ways that his values and experiences may be shaping the reporting. But that was way back in the 1970s. Surely the modern Perry White has been sufficiently woke, right?
Why aren't we covering this? Poor people don't buy papers?
People don't buy papers, period, Ken.
Perry, when you assign a story, you're making a choice about who matters.
Good morning, Smallville. The American conscience died.
And the problems don't just exist in the stories that Perry is selecting, but also how he's encouraging those stories to be framed. Another tenet of the Society is to, quote, provide context, take special care not to misrepresent or oversimplify in promoting, previewing, or summarizing a story.
Correct. Don't misrepresent. Don't oversimplify. Yes.
And what's the thing that we hear repeatedly throughout the original Superman film? Perry White's official motto that he teaches all his reporters?
A good reporter doesn't get great stories, Jimmy.
A good reporter
makes them great.
Regardless of whether you're stuck with the slogan-slinging 70s stereotyping Perry White or the modern DCEU's random story assigning Perry White, working at the Planet has always seemed to be an ethical minefield. Now, you're probably thinking that Perry, in both of these cases, is just trying to do what's best for the Daily Planet, making money and selling more copies, but that is exactly why this code of ethics exists in the first place, to show reporters where the line exists between a good story and being a good journalist. Point number 2, minimize harm. So this sounds like it should be a really simple task for a newspaper that unwittingly employs a superhero, but this principle is actually based on the need to balance the public's need for information against the potential harm or discomfort that information getting out could cause them.
Yes, and that's the thing. Openness is good, but proper education is required. Openness requires education. If people are not prepared for the openness for it, educate them first. Alright, it may take a while, but you do not just give them the whole truth, but whole truth without letting them understand the context of it, what it meant, what it stands for, right?
It basically boils down to whether the public...
Information is important, but people must be properly educated to understand, to decipher, to acknowledge that this sort of information that is being brought up to, is being received properly.
Knowing a certain piece of information is going to be better or worse for them, and also whether revealing that information is harmful to the private citizen it belongs to. Throughout Batman v Superman, we witness Perry White repeatedly shutting down Clark's attempts at an expose on Batman, a man who is, for all intents and purposes, an out-of-control vigilante. About you, but it certainly seems like a piece of information that would be pertinent to the safety of the public, but nope. Apparently, according to Perry, it needs to stay under wraps.
Nothing about football, just the goddamn Gotham Bat thing I told you not to pursue.
The police won't help. The press has to do the right thing.
You don't get to decide what the right thing is.
But it's even worse in Man of Steel when Lois decides to bury her story on the existence and identity of Superman. You know, the first ever confirmed actual super-powered alien to ever land on Earth ever.
I believe you saw something, Lois. So whatever your reasons are for dropping it, I think you're doing the right thing. Can you imagine how people on this planet would react if they knew there was someone like this out there?
Sure, it seems like Perry, for once, is taking his responsibility to his readers seriously, but I would argue that he's making the wrong decision here. As we see later in the movie, the public would soon find out about Superman's existence through his very public battle against Zod, a battle that causes panic, fear, and extreme loss of life. An introduction to Superman as a peaceful entity through Lois Lane's Daily Planet article prior to that battle would have gone a long way to mitigate the questions the public would have had in the aftermath of that battle.
True, it would have gone a long way to mitigate this kind of issue when the public are being properly educated about it. That's why I really respect this sort of actions. These small actions that might seem minute and just silly, on the long run, it's very important. Respect this character.
Circumventing not only a large part of the general outcry and overall atmosphere of fear present in Batman v Superman, but also, well, it would just circumvent a lot of that movie in general, which is not a bad thing. But really, those two categories are nothing compared to the massive ethical violations in the act independently and be accountable and transparent sections. When it comes to acting independently, of the 5 rules listed on the Society's website, the Daily Planet breaks the following 4. 1. Avoiding conflicts of interest, real or perceived, disclosing unavoidable conflicts. 2. Refusing gifts, favors, fees, free travel, and special treatment, and avoiding political and other outside activities that may compromise integrity or impartiality, or may just damage credibility.
May compromise integrity or impartiality, or may damage credibility.
3. Being wary of sources offering information for favors or money, not paying for access to news, identifying content provided by outside sources whether paid or not. And finally, point number 4, denying favored treatment to advertisers, donors, or other special interests, and resisting internal and external pressure to influence coverage. And most of these ethical standards are put through the shredder by Perry White assigning Clark what seems to be yet another seemingly random story in the middle of Batman v Superman.
Benefit for the Library of Metropolis. Someone on the committee requested that Clark Kent cover it. Probably some old charity crone who's got a thing for nerds.
Whoa! Slow down your violations there, Perry. You just assigned your sports reporter
Your sports today.
to cover a charity benefit just because someone rich asked you to? That seems like a very direct violation of denying favored treatment to advertisers and donors. But it's even worse in the 1978 Superman movie, where Perry White is literally willing to give away ownership over the company to Superman just so he can get some exclusive coverage.
I don't think that he would lend himself to any cheap promotion schemes, though, Mr. White.
Exactly how would you know that?
Just a first impression.
Well, anyway, who's talking cheap? I'll make him a partner if I have to.
So yeah, the Daily Planet breaks about every ethical rule in the book. Biased coverage, preferential treatment to donors, hyperbolic, empty-headed clickbait titles, and willfully withholding information pertinent to the public good. But if that wasn't bad enough, here's the worst part. They've dragged down Superman with them. Clark himself isn't innocent in any of this. After all, any story that Clark writes about Batman, or any superhero, or any supervillain for that matter, is unquestionably biased and a direct conflict of interest since Clark is Superman. Such undisclosed information could radically alter the public's perception of any story that he writes, given that he's the one out there punching it up on the streets. I mean, Bruce Wayne even acknowledges this in Batman v Superman.
The Daily Planet criticizing those who think they're above the law is a little hypocritical, considering every time your hero saves a cat out of a tree, you read a puff piece editorial. about an alien.
Clark makes things worse for Lois Lane too, providing her with gifts, favors, fees, free travel, and special treatment, all of which could radically alter her bias in stories about not just Superman, but also all of Superman's enemies.
Huh, interesting. So, Superman is Superman.
In Superman Returns, true to the title of the movie, Superman leaves and then he returns. It's actually a very accurate title. But in the interim while he's gone, Lois's connection with the Man of Steel and her frustration with her romantic partner up and leaving without any notice causes her to write an article titled Why the World Doesn't Need Superman. An article which wins her a Pulitzer Prize. You think that would have been written had she not been all lovey-dovey with the boy in blue? Certainly not. You think that the Pulitzer Prize judges would have given her an award for journalism had they known that she was Stuppin' Soups? Definitely not. Every time that Clark puts his fingers on a keyboard, he is lying to the American people about his process, about what he knows, and about what he's thinking. He weaves tales, careful to conceal his identity and his biases, leaving the people of Metropolis in the dark. And here's the kicker. He knows it. That's why he's working at the Daily Planet in the first place.
I gotta find a job where I can keep my ear to the ground, where people won't look twice. When I want to go somewhere dangerous, start asking questions.
It is done with intention. He has no plans to accurately report the news. He's using the guise of a reporter to protect himself. Sorry, remind me what Superman stands for again?
I'm here to fight for truth and justice in the American way.
Yeah, I'll give you 2 out of the 3. Let's just leave the truth one off the list. But hey, that's just a theory. A film theory. And you know what's wrong with Superman? He's never taken a class in journalism. Maybe he would have learned better journalistic ethics if he'd actually bothered to study up on his chosen profession.
Oh, wow, snap! I didn't expect that, but damn, wow, the burn.
You know what would have made him a better reporter? Our partner for today's episode, Skillshare. They could have taught him everything, from how to break into journalism to how to write the truth with style. That's right, Soups, that sticky bit about truth again. Preach it, Skillshare! Sure, they support film theory so we can keep sowing seeds of doubt into your mind about all your favorite fictional heroes, but more importantly, Skillshare provides an entire platform that is dedicated to teaching you about pretty much anything. Skillshare isn't just about giving you information, it's about giving you thoughtful, step-by-step classes that teach you about things that you can actually use in your everyday life, in your school, at your job, or at the job that you don't even have yet but are looking to get. And all of it for less than $10 a month. Like literally the cost of popcorn at the movies, you can start any classes you want with unlimited access. Over here, us theorists, we actually all use Skillshare. So it's not like just a service that we're promoting, it is a service that we actively use. Our graphic designer Dan is actively watching Skillshare classes to teach himself more skills in graphic design. Our channel manager Amy is actively watching Skillshare classes in order to improve her analytics skills in Excel. Literally, when one person in the office starts talking about the classes they're taking, whoever they're talking to asks for a subscription as well. We take classes like logo design and vector illustration to improve the thumbnails and art that you see on the channel. When I'm going on vacation, I pull out courses like Comprehensive Essential Japanese for Beginners so I can blunder my way around a foreign country. And if you would like to join us and hop aboard the Theorists Skillshare train, well then do it fast, because the first 1,000 people to sign up for Skillshare using the link in the description of this very specific video will get their first 2 months absolutely free. Just imagine how much knowledge you can cram into your brain in that amount of time. You can learn how to make homemade marshmallows and then learn how to vlog about it with classes in indie filmmaking and Sony Vegas editing software. So get going to the link that you see on screen or the link in the top of the description, skl.sh/filmtheory2. Again, it's linked right down in the description, so one thing you don't have to learn is actually how to type it into the URL bar. Just click it. Get in there and sign up for a whole world of free classes. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have to follow up with my shoe pastry making class. Great British Bake Off, here I come!
Yeah, well, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that you learned something new from this video. This is very educational and knowledgeable. Very wisdom-filled. Well, I certainly learned a lot, and yeah, I hope that you do. I hope that you find this video very entertaining and educational. If you do like this video, please remember to like, share, and subscribe to my channel, and comment down below if you have anything to share with us down below. And don't forget, it's just a theory, a film theory, and cut. Thank you so much. Don't forget to follow my channel and hope to see you all in my next video. Thank you. Bye bye. Subscribe to my channel. One last video. I think it's because, oh my gosh, my back hurts, you know, my back hurts. I've been slouching for so long already. One last video. This is a what, 12 minutes video? 12 minutes and a half. Let's do my best. Let's do it. Alright, sorry. I'll kill off traffic. Alright, one more right before I gotta go. No problem. One more. Also, Silver Gunner uses because it's to watch him. Alright, understandable. I will respect the decision and I will help support, watch some of his videos as well. Thank you so much, KB Profits. Let's start. Alright. I'm gonna watch one last video before I end the stream, so let's go! One last video! Like 15 minutes. And today, sorry. Let's go. Hello everyone, it's me, and today I'm scared. Don't hug me. Secret decoded together. Oh no! What happened? One more time. Alright, hello everyone, it's me, and today I'm scared. Don't hug me. Secrets decoded. Let's go. Film theory.
Hello Internet! Welcome to Film Theory.
Ooh, let me try. Hello Internet. Welcome to Film Theory. Hello.
Where too much watching won't make your teeth go gray. It'll make them fall out. You might not know this about me, but one of my favorite entertainment genres is puppet psychological horror that comments on the state of modern children's programming. I have very specific tastes. So it'll come as no surprise that I am thrilled that Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared is coming back for more. Now, if you're not familiar with DHMIS, the show was a 6-part series that felt a lot like Blumhouse got a hold of Sesame Street.
Well, do remember that this video came out in the year 2018, so a lot of things have changed.
Or the Muppets just got a wee bit too sick of being so good and wholesome all the time and went all American Psycho. After the series allegedly concluded, I did a 2-part theory trying to unravel the messages of the series while also piecing together the lore within the show itself. And that's where things ended 2 years ago, with DHMIS relegated to the archives of YouTube where it would live in infamy, joining the ranks of Marble Hornets and Salad Fingers as twisted web series that would deliver creepy nostalgia for a generation of youngsters. At least, that's what I thought. Then, out of nowhere, the channel suddenly became active again, dropping a new trailer entitled Wakey Wakey to announce that the show was coming back.
Wow! Wakey Wakey, wake up.
Great news! When? It's unclear. Where can we watch it? Also unclear. Maybe YouTube? But given that it's now got the backing of Conoco, the production company for Conan O'Brien's show, it's really anybody's guess. What's the show gonna be about? Now that, I think I can answer. Sure, the trailer left a lot of people asking themselves,
I wonder what will happen.
And it is only 20 seconds of footage.
That's not enough time!
But it's more than enough. Based on the trailer, I'm fairly confident I can not only tell you the narrative arc of these episodes, but also what the deeper meaning of it all is. You see, it's my theory that this new season is going to be about the current political situation in America. The duck is Donald Trump.
Okay, this is going to be very sensitive and hopefully it does age well.
If that sounds crazy, remember that this is a show where a boy wanders off from a picnic and almost ends up in a cult that worships a god who eats gravel. So it's time to pick apart the trailer and see just how deep this rabbit hole goes. To put Wakey Wakey into as much context as I can, let's do a quick recap of the original 6 episodes and my theory for what was really going on. Don't Hug Me I'm Scared follows 3 main characters, the red guy, the yellow guy, and the duck, on the children's TV program that the red guy created and that all of them star in. The show is being corrupted by the show's producer, financier, yellow guy's creepy stage dad, Roy.
My dad is a computer.
Whose goal seems to be to sell products and torture his son, both of which seem to be the main messages of DHMIS as a whole, the harmful effects that money and advertising can have on art, and the corruption of children's programming by that kind of for-profit agenda. After Red Guy discovers that their show can be made cheaply and distributed onto computers, his head literally explodes as he sees a way forward without the influence of Roy. The duck similarly gets tired of and consumed by the show, the latter, again, quite literally, before the Red Guy discovers the harmful effects that the show is having on kids, yellow guy included. He pulls the plug on the show, and the final scene of the final episode reveals that they're moving forward with a lower budget, independent reboot of the first ever episode. So that's where we're coming from. Now, cut to Wakey Wakey, where we get an establishing shot of Clay Hill, the town where it seems these characters live outside of the context of the show. We get a quick shot of Red Guy walking through the forest, followed by what looks like a classic episode of their usual show with the Key as a teacher. We get a couple of shots of computer machinery with the duck's face on it, then see a snapshot of a dark room in a state of disarray, and the duck's face on a large screen behind the now locked gates of Clay Hill. Then we've got ourselves a psychedelic door and a shot of a purple marble. I don't know. A lot of people online think that this looks like South Park's Member Berries. But it would be a weird reference for them to make. Anyway, Wakey Wakey ends simply with Don't Hug Me I'm Scared, and then the production companies Blink Industries, Conoco, and Super Deluxe.
Alright, so let's talk about the theory-wise. I mean, I watched it already. Right now it's in the year 2021. Well, a lot of quite interesting predictions that MadPat may have.
It's not a ton to go off of, but if you actually slow it down, pay attention to the details, and think about who's actually making this show, some really solid narrative possibilities start to develop. First and foremost, it's important to note that the room that's partially destroyed in the trailer is, upon closer inspection, the office of Clay Hill's mayor, as we can see by the picture of him on the wall and the identifying medal he's wearing in the picture on his desk. Something happened to the mayor of this town. Notice also that it's discovered by the duck. See this shot of him opening the doors and this duck-billed shadow when we're actually presented with the room. This is going to be important later on. The disappearance, or even murder of the mayor likely prompts the show that Red Guy, Yellow Guy, and the duck are her on to do a very special installment about safety, with this key as their guest teacher. As these episodes always go, what probably starts as a basic lesson about the importance of safety and locking things up spins wildly out of control, escalating into a paranoid fervor about security and keeping bad people out. Notice that the yellow padlock that's put on the gates of Clay Hill in this shot looks a heck of a lot like the lock that's hanging around the key's neck in that brief scene. We also see that the red guy is now locked out of town looking in. Why would that be? Because he's now the bad guy, or at least that's the story that's being spread about him. Let's take another, even closer look at what I assume is the crime scene in the mayor's office. On top of that overturned file cabinet, we see a green scarf with yellow perpendicular lines on it that should look pretty familiar. Sure, we've seen it in previous DHMAS episodes, but based on the ending of episode 5, we know that it belongs to a red guy, because he is actually wearing it as he walks away from the phone booth. If the duck is the one who discovers the crime scene, maybe he recognizes that clue and uses it to get Red Guy banished from Clay Hill. After all, most of what we see of Red Guy in the Wakey Wakey trailer is him in isolation and outside of the town, as he walks through a forest, is literally locked out of the city, or is just looking through binoculars, again, out in the wilderness. Now consider this. The duck is really the focal point to this trailer. Not only is he the one who discovers the ruined mayor's office, but throughout the trailer we see a lot of imagery pointing to the duck being in control. Look closely at the shot of the locked gate. Behind it, there's that screen with the duck's face on it. It's hard to fully make out the words, but it appears to say, "The town is safe." So with the mayor missing, there is now a power vacuum in Clay Hill, one that the duck seems to step in and fill. He is an established television celebrity, and if he throws Red Guy under the bus by blaming him for the violence against the mayor, he can use that to improve his credibility and spread the message that he'll be the one to keep Clay Hill safe and thus should be in control.
That's
and then
horrible.
there are plenty of subtler clues at play too. When we see the locked gates of Clay Hill, we can also see a surveillance camera with a duckbill on it.
That's horrible. That's terrible.
Insinuating that it's the duck who is behind these security measures. That same kind of duckbill is also on the robot with the drill for a hand that we see in this shot. Then of course there's the shot of what might best be described as a duck machine, with him plugged into various computers and machines like the ones that we saw at the end of DHMAS 6.
Where is the decency? Where is the humanity? Why don't you be more open about
that were being used by Roy to control and monitor the show, and Yellow Guy. It's also noteworthy that this duck machine might be in the mayor's office. We've got yet another green filing cabinet similar to the one that we saw on the floor with Red Guy's scarf on it, and the same blue and white tile pattern on the floor of both rooms. It appears as though this is near the end of the series, with the duck having created a full-on surveillance state, and with he himself being directly hardlined into the monitoring systems that he's using to keep a watch on everyone in town. As for the Yellow Guy, well, we don't get to see much of him, but we can tell from one shot that he's not banished from Clay Hill like Red Guy. It's my belief that Yellow Guy will be the only one who can end up stopping the duck. But to truly understand why I say that and how he's gonna do it, we have to look at some real-life parallels. Becky Sloan and Joe Pelling, creators of Don't Hug Me, clearly had something cautionary to say about television in their original 6 episodes, and I don't think this one is any different. I also don't think it's a coincidence that a politician goes missing and that it's the duck who ends up filling the role. The narrative of a television celebrity stoking paranoia to claim political power seems like a pretty direct connection to how many people view President Donald Trump these days. Beyond him being one of the most controversial figures in recent memory, there's something to be said about television's role in getting him elected. Obviously, millions of people were already familiar with the Don's personality from his show The Apprentice, but some media agencies reported that the amount of coverage Trump's campaign got had a valuation of $800 million in free broadcasting. And if you include digital coverage, the amount jumps to about $5 billion in free coverage, more than the campaigns of Hillary Clinton, Bernie Sanders, Ted Cruz, and Marco Rubio combined. Locking up Clay Hill for its protection also feels very similar to ideas Trump has espoused about closing off America's borders, and blaming the Red Guy for a crime that he may or may not have committed and sending him out of the city has some pretty direct parallels to Trump's immigration policies. Even the duck's government-sponsored security cameras have themselves a direct connection. It's also pretty on brand for the people who are making this show. Becky and Joe are both British, and as Trump's visit to the UK in 2018 showed, many people overseas aren't the biggest fans of his. On a more personal level, Joe has a history of retweeting media and tweets that run counter to the American far right or mock Trump and his family, including a video made by the other production company, Super Deluxe. Ducks, which just so happens to now be producing the new season of DHMIS. And when you actually look at Super Deluxe's history of programming, it would make a ton of sense for the new episodes of DHMIS to be a commentary on Trump. Super Deluxe has put out lots of content over the past couple of years lampooning the Don, including a series made by former President of Mexico, Vicente Fox, where Fox generally attacks Trump. One of Fox's biggest issues, that Mexico will not pay for Trump's proposed border wall.
Mexico will not pay for
this huge
wall.
I know that this doesn't directly prove that the next season of Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared is going to be about the Ducks' takeover of Clay Hill and its parallels to Donald Trump's presidency, but we've got some pretty strong visual clues, a message that makes sense given the show's history, and producers who aren't afraid to lean into this kind of messaging. You might say that the Duck becomes the Donald Duck. But wait, there's one final point. What about Yellow Guy? Well, for as dark and cynical as the series can be, DHMIS seems to end itself on notes of hope. Independent digital video was the hopeful ending of the first 6 DHMIS episodes, and now it's my theory that Yellow Guy might just be the one to offer hope of ending the Duck's totalitarian reign in this new installment. Not only is he not banished from the town, but in the shot of the Duck Machine, we see him here, in the corner. You can tell by his ear, only now he has a pink mohawk. Yellow Guy in the DHMIS series has always represented the youth, the next generation, kids. All the evil kids programming from episodes 1 through 6 was directly aimed at brainwashing him. Now in this shot, we see a Yellow Guy who's changed, who's discovered himself, who's experimenting, and is in a position to pull the plug on the Duck's surveillance state. If I'm right about the parallels to today's American political system, this is a direct parallel to how many youth have been outspoken about President Trump's policies, and how many believe that the future of American politics is in the hands of Gen Z, most of you guys watching, who are known to be the most accepting generation, inclusive, diverse, and eager to change the world to make it a more tolerant place. And that is the wakey wakey that the trailer's referencing. A wake up for America and a reference to the woke generation. The ultimate question is, will Yellow Guy be able to do it? We'll just have to wait and see. But hey, that's just a theory. A film theory. And the lesson of today is subscribing. Subscribing is a good idea.
Subscribe!
If you want to see the videos when they come out. Subscribe.
Subscribe. Well, thank you so much for watching this video together with me. I really like that MatPat made this video and the ending have such a positive and just wholesome outro about it. And a bit funny as well. But true to the message, the end of the video really give about a really encouraging, positive vibe that we need to stand up and make the entire earth a better place for the next generations. And the next generations, and the next generations, and the next generation, and the next generation, go on. Make it improvements, growth, for the betterment for everyone, for the positivity. So yeah, thank you so much, MatPat, for making this video being so awesome. And if you do like this video, please remember to like, share, and subscribe to my channel, and comment down below if you have any shares. Don't forget to follow my channel, and sincerely appreciate all of your support and encouragement for me. It's very motivating and uplifting for me to read all of your positive and wholesome messages. Thank you so much, you are all the best. But hey, that's just theory, a film theory, and cut. And I hope to see you all in my next video. Thank you so much. Once again, I'm sincerely appreciative and grateful for all your kind words, caring words, and all these are just so motivating and uplifting. Continue giving me spirit to make more of these videos. Thank you all so much. Sincerely, from the bottom of my heart, I touch my heart. I'm genuinely thankful. Thank you. Alright, to watching. Yeah, you know what? I gotta go. KV Prophets, thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you so much for watching this live stream together with me. You are awesome. And I think you need to rest up soon, because right now it's going to be 12 AM at your place, 12 o'clock at your place. So rest up. Thank you so much. And I'm going to end my live stream soon, so as to give you a proper explanations. Alright, let me do an outro for my live stream as well. Thank you so much for watching this live stream together with me. If you do like this live stream, please remember to like, share, and subscribe to my live stream, and comment down below if you have any share of us. Don't forget to follow my channel, and I hope to see you in my next video. Thank you so much. Your kind words, your positive words, your support and attention is very kind and awesome. and I hope to see you all in my next live stream. But hey, that's just a stream, a live stream. Thanks for watching. And I hope to see you all in my next video. Thank you.